Yeah.
What a way to end your first act. Whew. So now going into going to transition to the transition period after your playing career. So the circumstances of your retirement were very unique and unfortunate. You went into the 2022-2023 offseason coming off of your best season at the highest level you had been at in your career. And you were expecting to sign a new deal with a handful of potential new teams. Mm-hmm. But then over the course of a slow offseason, we weren't getting the offers that we were expecting. Mm-hmm. And then for whatever reason, the deal never came that we may never know. Probably will never know. So was it easier or more difficult knowing that you had done everything you possibly could and were at that level as opposed to if the cleats were taken off your feet because you weren't good enough?
Yeah, I think it was harder for me knowing I should be out there and I could be out there right now, but no one took a shot on me. Mm-hmm. And, that's what took me. I mean, it took me probably a year and a half to move on and, like, actually understand, like, hey, this is not what God's plan is for you. This is not where you're going to be this next, however long this next act takes you, Mm-hmm. And that was probably the hardest part of knowing that physically I felt like I should be out there and I should be at big league camp and I should be knocking on the door of the big leagues, to not getting signed at all, not being offered any sort of contract. And then a few offers came later on, but they just kind of weren't what I was looking for at the time. So, right. Yeah, probably just having that best year, hitting 300 in AAA, leading off every day, mm-hmm. getting on SportsCenter's #1 play, like that. Like when you do all that in your mind, you're like, there's no chance I'm not going to play next year. Like who wouldn't? And it just wasn't in the cards. The game's trending a different way, and God had other plans for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, a bit of
going
a tougher
process.
Question,
yeah. You said nothing's limits, so Keaton.
Keep on going.
Yeah. What did you learn going through that time in that process?
Man, everything. I mean, there were so many days where I was like, this is awful. I couldn't even look at a baseball. Mind you, I'm working in a baseball facility this whole time, trying to make ends meet, trying to figure out if this is what I want to do, seeing all my buddies come through and and go off to spring training and go off to the big leagues and have great years and keep on chasing their dream. And then I'm just kind of left at the facility like, man, I guess this isn't in the cards for me, So it was a very emotional time, a lot of tears, a lot of pissed off days where I was trying to make sense of it all, and I just couldn't. So I just think being tested in so many different ways was the toughest part. Just like being able to enjoy my time home and being able to enjoy my time with my girlfriend and her family that I've never been able to do, being able to enjoy time with my family, my cousins and everybody, and go to weddings and not have anything get in the way was truly amazing for me to be able to do that during that season of life. But then knowing like I was still home in June when everybody else is playing and everyone's like, hey, why aren't you playing? What happened? Why didn't you get signed? You didn't want to go play? And I got that question like probably 50 times that summer. And I'm like, man, I just want to punch you. First reaction, yeah. Like I'm sick and tired of hearing it. Like, but it really taught me, it's not on my time. It's not on my terms. I have zero say. I can work as hard as I want. I can play as good as I want, and it can be over tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Like my last day in Oklahoma City when we were playing against the Dodgers in AAA, last at bat hit a double to stay above 300, and I was like, man, great going in the off season. Can't wait to do it again next year. And that was my last at bat ever. So, and it's just like, thank goodness I ended on a good swing and good at bat. And, and obviously it wouldn't have mattered if I didn't, but just constantly having that thought in the back of my mind, like, Lord, why was it not why didn't you want me to go do that? Like, I felt like I had so much more to give, and just constantly hearing people like not understand why I was still home was the toughest part of probably that whole summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, 100%. I apologize if that was like too in it, but I remember I wanted to ask you that question because I was able to see up close, like right there during the entire time, and I saw how you carried yourself throughout that entire process, and how amazing it was seeing you come out on the other side of it, having something as monumental as the dream that you moved across the country for, and get to that level and have it truly be like just not in the cards and not in God's will for it. So it was, I know a lot of people will be able to, if not relate to, be able to take encouragement and inspiration from that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you for sharing that for sure.
That's why we wait a year or 2 years after you're done playing so you can ask questions like that.
Mm-hmm.
That don't bother me at all.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Good. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Like it wasn't as easy, I guess, as it seemed, but it was. I mean,
Well, I knew it wasn't easy.
Yeah,
but
I mean, every day was a grind. Yeah, I didn't know how I was going to wake up happy or sad or mad or whatever. But it was just, it really helped me find that I was meant to help other people. Still in this game, I still had something to give, even though my playing days were over.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
and my body hurt a lot that last year. Like it was starting to break down. So maybe it was God saving me from a big time injury or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.